What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Keith here, hanging out on the bench, doing some filming by myself. I got some holidays finally, so we're gonna put that to use and make some good content for you guys. Tonight, I want to work on my personal UTB18. As you know, we've got the twin Reef 299 LP servos in there, the four-wheel steering, the Reef tank wheels on it. Absolutely gorgeous, loving it. We get the scale. A little 22 RE Toyota in the back, give it some nice, sweet horsepowers. 10 scale driver, just loving the little guy, but he sits a little too tall. So today we're going to lower this guy down. We're going to add a little bit more brass to the front, and then we're going to go test it out tonight at our friend Eliminator RC in Winnipeg. We have an indoor rock crawling course as it is in the middle of winter here. So we're going to go test that out after we get these mods done and see if we can get this guy to crawl. He was doing pretty good last time. I put a little bit wider hubs on the front. I went to a 350 from a 275, I think it was, from the little thin one to a little bit thicker one. And that helped, but we're going to lower it. We're going to put a little more weight in the front, and that should make it just truck uphill. We'll know shortly. Let's get to it. See you guys in a second. Okay guys, as discussed, I want to get that belly height a little bit lower. Right now, I'm going to take a measuring tape. I'm just going to measure from the side tube here. All you need to do is find a spot that you can measure on both sides. Get the truck, push it all the way down without compressing the tires a whole bunch. Let it go. I know this truck likes to push back up on the driver's side for some reason. Just kind of hold it down. I'm at 70 millimeters from the ground to the middle of this tube right here. So 70 millimeters right there. Simple enough right there. So I would like to get that sitting a little bit lower. Now I know these shocks have a limiter, a little piece of plastic on the bottom right there. You can see it popped it up there. Hopefully we can see that. Can we see that? Yeah. Sorry guys. Filming by myself today. We got no zoom function with me over here. So take my word on it, I'll pull it off, we'll get a better look at that. But anyhow, let's start on the front because we're gonna have to modify the cage just a little bit. I know some guys were cutting the chunk out where the servo will need to kind of come up into the, it'll hit the lower bar on the front on the underside here. I'm gonna see if we can actually just heat that up and bend it up out of the way. That would be choice. Okay guys, there we go. Pull the tires off so we can get a better look at what I'm talking about here with the front setup. With the spacers they have on the bottom of the shocks, it just clears the front subframe, if you would, or front chassis, the lower tube here. The servo just touches it, like it just clears it. We're gonna have to open that up. I'm gonna try to heat it up and bend it, so shape it around without cutting it out, so we can kind of get the servo to tuck up in there. And to get it to go lower, we're obviously going to take out this little spacer they have on the bottom of the shock right here. This little dude, he's going to come out. And then to keep it low, we're going to put a short piece of fuel tubing inside the shocks, and hopefully that will help keep it low where we need it. So enough about that. I'm going to pull the shocks off this thing. I'm going to try to make some room in there. I will show you how we're doing one of the shocks. We'll do all four really quick, and then I'm going to see what I can come up with opening up that front end to get it in there. I would like to just maybe cut the inside of it out, bend it out a little bit, just kind of not cut it out would be the goal. So let's get at it, and let's okay, let those sit. I'm gonna let those drain out. Okay guys, we're gonna do as we do. we're gonna go open this guy up. We've already dumped them out. I was actually just measuring them. They measure out from eyelet to eyelet 75 millimeters. Grab your shaft pliers, pull that eyelet off the bottom. You're gonna have to pass it up through the top so we can get the limiter off the bottom and put our own limiter on the inside. Now you're gonna want to pull that guy off, take the cap off the bottom because you don't want pressure on your O-rings as you pass the threaded bit through. Send that guy out. Hey. Okay, let me get this upside down. Now I've went ahead and cut some just nitro fuel tubing, 10 millimeters, like I said, guys. Cut like 5 or 6 of them. You know, it's only a couple inches of tubing. Cut 5 or 6 of them, and then line them all up and find your best pair that match perfectly. And then you're just going to put that onto the shock shaft on the inside, so that limits how much it can come down out of the shock body. Pretty simple. Before we go too much further, I like to get these O-rings pushed out the bottom. And then I add some grease to them. You can use a shock grease. I just use Capra RC grease on them there. Anything is better than nothing on them, so I just load them up, get them all greasy, shove it on the shaft, down in, O-ring, spacer. Just be careful when you're putting them back over top the threaded bit, you're not raking anything in there, damaging them. There you go. You can kind of get it to fit down in there pretty decently, but I just put the cap back on once you get it lined up and slowly work it in with the cap. In and out, in and out, in and out. It's down. There you go. Wipe all the excessive grease off. And then, yeah, slap it back together. Once you're done, you guys, you have a nice shorter 65 millimeter shock, eyelet to eyelet. I went ahead and bled these out with a Team Associated 40 weight oil. We're gonna put those back onto the truck and we'll get that new ride height looking good on there. We'll show you what we did with the front, and I gotta hurry up because it's almost time to hit the track for testing tunes. So we'll catch you back here in a few seconds when we throw some weights in these sweet tank wheels, and then we'll go to the track. Okay guys, so 10 millimeters down on the shocks. We got the bump stops taken out, squatter all the way down. I can get this guy down to about 63, 64 millimeters in front, 65 in the rear. So it's just a little higher in the rear because of the angle of the shocks. Everything fits good. I did now go ahead and I had to cut out that whole lower bracket that I did not want to do, but this is what we had to do to make it fit. It's in there. We added the Vanquish brass 1-inch wide front rings to it, so we added a lot more weight in the front. Now we're going to jump in the truck, take an hour drive into Winnipeg, and we're going to try this out at Eliminator RC's indoor rock crawling course. We'll see you guys in a few seconds. Okay guys, there you go. As you can see in that footage that we just laid down with the Capra, we're very happy with it. The lowering of it, it looks completely like 100 times better sitting nice and low. We did have to cut out that front subcage in the front, the lower section, but at the end of the day, it's only really holding the grill on in, you know, the scale world, so that should be fine. It's not, you know, messing with the structural integrity of our suspension or links or servo mount or anything like that. So yeah, 40 weight shock oil, very happy with that. It slowed it down a bunch, and yeah. You'll see in the video there's a couple times with all the LEDs and such running in the two servos that we kind of browned out the, not quite, we had a dip in the power. You can see the LEDs were dimming down when we're trying to turn both servos in a bind up situation. So we are going to add a BEC into it so we can continue to have full power to the servos and the lights and all that stuff. So last thing we need to do is open up, throw BEC in, but you don't need to see that from us guys. You know how to do that at this point. Yeah, so check these things out. Our friends Eliminator RC is where Jesse and I got ours. Jesse's will be the next build. He's got a green one. And if you're not local to us or in Canada, hit up Horizon Hobby or your local hobby shop and grab one of these guys. They are fantastic. It is now January 1st. Happy New Year. Spring is coming, so start building, get your fleet ready, and we'll see this guy back here in the summer months when we get him out on the trail. So we'll get Jesse's done. We'll get them both on the trail. So anyhow, guys, that's the end of this video. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure you please like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and see you soon.